College football 25 has made entirely too much money. And I think the big thing about that is because it's too much fun. Look, I've been very negative about this game. And, I've talked about how Road to Glory is, spineless and there's nothing there. I've talked about how Dynasty is lacking in innovation and really any care. I've talked about the online gameplay, how it's broken and plussing, that circle button is going to take you to the grand place we like to call the end zone. There's a lot of things that's wrong with this game. It's boneless. It's underdeveloped. 4 years of development, 10 years of wait has not been worth it for this game, but it's a lot of fun. We're not going to sit here and act like it isn't leagues and leagues of fun. So we're going to sit back and talk about why that's a problem. Why giving EA any sort of success with this boneless piece of garbage that they've produced, which is, look, very fun. It just getting them on this standard and thinking that this level of product is something good to give us. It'll quickly make college football 25 the last college football game I play. Let's go back and play NCAA 14. But, let's get into these numbers. I think over 1.5 million copies have been sold of college football 25. I think we're just above 2 to 3 weeks, right? Apparently they generated, I think $500 million alone. Look at the numbers, man. Quote the numbers. And that was just by getting the people with the early access, right? So it really does seem like we're sitting on a game that has done what we thought it was going to do. 11 years of waiting had people anxious. I don't really think that they could have put a Pop-Tart out there and had them hold a football and it would just be okay. It would have been fine. It would have been more than enough. And I apologize. The numbers are actually above me. It's 500 million in 2 weeks of sales. It was 5 million unique players playing through the first week. So there's a lot of big backs going to EA. They're very familiar with that, and we don't want them resting on their laurels. All right, let's get into the fun. Let's talk about the gameplay. I'm the biggest negative Nancy when it comes to the gameplay. It's pure arcade fun. That was also makes me the biggest beneficiary of this gameplay. Man, it's silliness. Like I talked about one of my first videos. I was like, this is a video game at the end of the day. Can we not get so caught up in wanting to make sure that things are so accurate? And it is a simulation game, so I would want some accurate things. I would want some good things. But for the love of, we're playing video games, dog. We're not, this isn't the football simulator 27. We're not going into any national championships. And if you're wagering multiple thousands of dollars on an online football game produced by EA, you get whatever you get. You might as well play CS:GO Lottos. You might as well open Madden Ultimate Team packs if you just want to gamble on this half animated based game mode that is super fun. Whether it's online, whether it's Road to Glory, whether it's Dynasty, the core aspect of this game, the gameplay in this revamped Madden engine. Let's be honest with you, this revamped, not reskinned, because you know how this community likes them on that word, but this revamped Madden engine that has clearly been, it seems to feel a lot more responsive. It feels smooth. It feels quick. It doesn't feel like old games, but that's a good thing. I feel like instead of just reverting back to, okay, let them just get wiggly, it's a different way. There's a different skill gap when it comes to that left stick, right? You have to be a little more patient with the left stick. You've got to be a little more deliberate with your right stick. Obviously, the spin move being broken isn't the most greatest thing of all time, but hey, juke moves are broken. Double passes are broken. All types of things are broken. And talking about that, getting deeper, the wealth in an absolute library of different plays. I get on TikTok, get on Twitter, and I see 10,000 different plays. This other different thing. This other crazy double back pass, jumping up and down, fumble-rooski to somebody. I'm like, who is designing these plays? Like, they must have had a real offensive coordinator there. So I have to continue to give EA their flowers. And I know in some of my other videos, I talked about Road to Glory not having innovation, Dynasty not having innovation, these things being core components of the history of college football games and them not being well fleshed out is a problem. One thing that they did do well, and that is a core component in college football games, is the expansion in absolute, I say, sandbox when it comes to a different offensive schemes because of all the different teams, the 134, 84, how many teams are in here? Now, we'll get right back to that because that is my last point of why this game is so fun. But continuing on and moving forward, let's talk. We talked about the gameplay, right? We talked about the amazing hot routes. We talked about the craziness. We talked about the silly things that can happen within the game, and those all produce, while maybe not the most fair gameplay, right? Maybe a little annoying gameplay. You cannot deny that it's balls to the wall. It's plenty of fun. It's plenty of excitement, and there's a lot to to not be desired. Sorry, there is a lot to be desired, but at the same moment, in the same notion, there's a lot of good times to be had, and one of those good times as well is really the immersion. Right. And this kind of goes back to my main last point, which is all the teams, which is just going to be a big inherent component of any college football game. But another big component to college football games is the immersion. And look, I'm not saying that we're playing Dungeons and Dragons and out here. All right. I'm not saying that I feel like it's a Saturday morning and I'm about to watch a beautiful, lovely display of college football. But what I am saying is they honestly did take their time when it came to the different situations with the different schools. Now, they've kind of messed up a lot of the core stuff too. They messed up some people's mascots and the Red River rivalry. Initially, there were some issues and some hiccups, but I think that we can all agree that them wanting to at least have this level of attention, right? Have this level of investment into what they're going to put out in this game. I think that's important, dog. I love the dynamic of fans. I know this is a small thing, but this is everything for me. So a guy who had D3 dreams, but a torn ACL and being a little too short kind of stopped him from it. I will say that as you get closer to the end zone, the crowd gets more hype, and then you get across the end zone. There is nothing. I don't think there is anything, no touchdown experience that I've experienced like this game. It really makes it feel special when you get to the end zone. It makes you feel almost like you're playing college football. So I think the immersion level there, not just when it comes to the things that are off the field, not when it comes to just the traditions and situations, but doubly the things that happen on the field and the way that things feel, the way that, obviously indicative of the biggest reason why this game is so much fun, having all those different offensive play styles and them being, unique to each and individual team. Like, these are deep rooted schemes and ways that these teams set themselves up and the identity that they have in general. So I think this is a phenomenal thing. So I keep alluding to it, and it's all these teams, man. This is the biggest point of all the fun. Look, and this is how we're gonna sadly get back to more negative, because as I sit here and tell you that the wealth of teams that college football 25 has is one of the biggest positives, I will also have to tell you that the wealth of teams is one of its biggest arch enemy. And I don't mean arch enemy like it's a bad thing. It just helps betray EA and help betray them in actually producing something that would be of higher quality. Having all of these teams is almost limitless levels of fun. Have you built a team? Have you built a dynasty with Old Dominion? Have you rebuilt Florida? Have you thought about doing a road to glory with Rutgers? Just that off the fact, having 134 teams that you can all individually play in different ways. You can play with them online. You can do road to glory. You can do dynasty, and almost a big mixture of everything that kind of encompasses that in between. That is awesome. That's phenomenal, and that's fun. And I'm just going to, after I've hit these 3 points, and we're going to get back into the money point and how negative that is, I want to talk to you about my experience. I'm very underwhelmed with this game. I really am. And we've talked about how my expectations might have been a little too high. Maybe I played this game a little too long. How about maybe me playing a revamped and going back and playing NCAA 14 might not have been phenomenal for my expectations and the way that things were going to look going forward. But I have to say that even with all the negatives I've had, the multiple rants of the negatives that you've seen in this video, go check it out on the channel. And if you are this far, first off, appreciate the new viewers. Appreciate the big viewership. Go ahead and subscribe if you want to join us up. A lot of y'all have been. Go leave a like if you like the video. Dislike if you don't like the video, man. Leave the comments and tell me what you want to see next, what you want to talk about next, and of course your overall opinion. Just wanted to take a second there. But like I was saying, through these recent videos that I've been making, it seems like there's been a lot of hate and a lot of easy things to say. But if we're being honest here, and some people have told me that in some of my recent videos about, road to glory being broken, dynasty being broken, all the other things that need to be addressed, it's like, what were we really expecting with EA? And I have to say that my commenters, you guys, y'all are right. What to be the fact that we even had the expectations, and I know that the expectations come from the long wait. It comes from the promises. It comes from the optimism that hopefully EA could do it right on this one returning job. And although it didn't happen in the best way, it happened in a good way. I'm not going to sit here and look you in the face and tell you I haven't put plenty of hours in this game. I won't sit here and say some of the biggest critiques that I've seen of this game have come from the people who have even more hours in this game than me. I think it's something that we all yearn for, a throwback, and not just a throwback game, but a high quality game. We can all say that NCAA 14 had some of its faults. We can say some of these throwback games had their faults, but it always felt like there was a certain level of passion in each and every layer of it. Now, some of that similar passion is here. I talked about some of the immersion there. I talked about some of the playbooks. I talked about some of the things that, College Football 25 actually does deliver on when you talk about the next layer and the next level of college football experiences in the game mode. But I would be remiss if I didn't sit here and say that it's did I even use that vocabulary right? Somebody looked it up. I would be wrong if I didn't tell you that with all the negatives that have happened and transpired, and things that this game is lacking, that it isn't super fun. It's amazing, and I'm going to continue playing this for the next year. But the reason why this is probably going to be the last college football game that I buy is because EA has made so much money. Sorry, boys, we did it again. We fell for it again. There's no stopping them now. They're already talking about developing College Football 26. They're talking about getting Reese Davis to redo his commentary because it needs to be more lively for College Football 26. Now, why the commentary in College Football 25 is done by somebody on shrooms and laxatives at the same time, I don't know. Those are the wrong types of over-the-counter inhibitors. But if I say those actual drugs, I might get kicked off YouTube. But you know what I'm saying. That boy ain't taking no uppers. All right, very, very low energy commentary style. All right, I'm cracking off an 80-yard bomb over there as the gosh darn BYU Super Cougs, and I'm not getting the energy. I'm not feeling the real Big 12 Pac-2 pride. Sorry, rest in peace to Pac-12. I'm not really feeling the real Big 12 pride there, son. You know what I'm saying? But maybe that's me. Maybe I'm expecting too much. But yeah, look, the fact that we are sitting here not even 3 weeks after release speaking about the negatives and the ways that College Football 25 can instantly improve. And it's probably going to be my next video is also going to be specifically talking about, hey, this is the roadmap of how they can improve. The reality is they're not going to do it. We were expecting a day one patch, and there was a day one patch that fixed some bugs. There was another small patch that fixed some other small glitches and things, but they still haven't addressed some of the bigger things. They haven't done the big retooling, which is going to, of course, probably nuke offense and make defense more, aggressive. So if you're playing online, be ready for that. They haven't addressed some of the uniforms that need to be updated. They said they're going to update uniforms, but I mean, we're goddamn 3 weeks out from college football, which is amazing. 20 days away from college football as I record this. So, I mean, we're missing some core uniforms, some core things, some core situations. And it really seems that in regular EA fashion, again, we shouldn't expect anything less, they are looking ahead to college football 26. And this game is probably going to be, there's nothing drastic. Unless it's something online, I don't think there's anything drastic that's going to be changed about this game. And I don't think there's anything going to be drastic changed about this formulation of game modes. And that, I mean, they're reselling Madden to you. Yep, they have finally found a way to sell you Madden twice. Again, I mean, it took them 10 years and a whole lot of litigation and to pay, a bunch of high schoolers $600 each. Sorry, not high schoolers. Some high schoolers, high schoolers and college level guys, $600 to make $500 million with under 3 weeks. Oh, but development costs and all this stuff. I don't want to hear that. I hate that when we talk about the minuscule amount of money. I think it equated up to $150 million. The minuscule amount of money that it costs to pay all these college football players, especially if it's just $600 in a free game, compared to the immense amount of money that they've already made. I told y'all it was going to be like that. I told y'all $600. You'd be dumb to sell it for $600 if you had a name for yourself in college football. And Arch Manning went ahead and got him his big bucks and didn't sell it for $600. So, I mean, who am I? What do I know about anything and about the valuations of these games? It means that that $600 might creep back down. There's nothing regulating that. I hope it creeps up. It means that they really don't need to do any other improvements to this game except rely and focus on the games and the teams that haven't been updated. So if a team comes up to D1, if they start adding FCS teams, XYZ, that is literally what their bread and butter is gonna be. They're gonna focus on making sure you got, you know, your stadiums, make sure those are unique, get your pet rallies and your fight songs right, and that's gonna be about the end of it. They've sold you Madden twice, and they're doing it pretty successfully. They're making way too much money. This is a dangerous thing. But hey, they wouldn't be making so much money if this wasn't actually a very, very fun game. But I appreciate y'all joining me on this other video. I think we're going to rejigger and remove and look at some things. Again, next video is probably going to be looking at some of the positive other video we have coming, looking at some of the uniforms coming up, the uniforms that are missing that should be added as well. You're looking at some of the footage on screen. The bulldozer, he has not been released. He hasn't been shown to the general public. So if y'all want me to put that video out, y'all let me know in the comments, XYZ. But tell me something fun, the most fun that you've had with College Football 25 so far. There's a lot of fun to be had, all right? There's a lot of negative that we've been talking about. This game is indeed broken. It needs some tender love and care. But I think eventually, hopefully, if EA doesn't get too much more money, we can get there. But I don't know.